Hey people, it's me again. So, anyways, it's gonna be, you know, 17 years since I had the boys, as far as that goes, because they were born like right around this time of year, like the end of March, yeah, and in a way, I probably manifested the boys of that sort, you know. So, um, so one of my online friends, Jeremy, I met way back in '05 on MySpace, and you know, and then I think he started doing uh, vlogs right around, I think it was towards the end of '07, I think, and at one point, or that he had these two cats, Taco and Wasabi, and they look like the boys as far as that goes, you know, and I think in a way I probably felt like, I probably wanted to have some cats that look like that someday, and it was about like at least a year since Tom had passed away. Tom was my childhood cat that I had um, since I was like 7, and he passed away back in the end of '06. You know, so it's kind of sad there. So anyways, so I think what happened was we gone to all the different animal shelters, and then we were at the animal shelter that's near the house, and then they had like these kittens that were ready to be adopted, and those kittens were the boys. They were about like 6 weeks old at the time. When we got them. You know, and especially if you guys probably go so far back in this channel as far as to watch like the videos that I have with the boys when they were very young at that point there. And this was back when I had my T-Mobile Dash that I did videos on at the time. And so that was just one of the things there. You know? So I think in essence that was just one of the things that I probably had manifested there. You know. And I think, you know, because of that, I think it was also J2 uh, probably also had like cats that look like the boys because of that, because I do remember him like adopting one of his cats that looked like Simon, and another one that looked like Garfy in a way, you know. But it's like one of the things that I have in common with my specific person there, is that we both love cats, you know. So that was just one of those things there. It was just like the other thing that I also said before about it, that I also might have manifested Ricky in and out of my life a few times there, because I think I had manifested Ricky into my life at one point back in '05, because when I was into like uh, all the different schools there, and where I was looking at the different schools' websites, and then I ended up uh, going to one of the school's websites, and this was a school that was like Ricky's old high school, and that triggered that one dream where I was back in high school again. you know, back in '05, and then um, it was just one of those coincidences. And I think at one point I did manifest the whole breakup with Ricky, back in '08 because I felt I felt tired because I felt like I was tired of him, like, wanting to plan things with me, then he cancels them in the last minute, and that happened, like, you know, a couple of times, and at one point where Dad was trying to tell me that I was, like, fooling myself, because, and other people were telling me to forget about Ricky, but it was just something that, you know, that I just wanted to figure that out on my own rather than people trying to figure that out for me. And that was the thing that really had all these problems there, that I didn't necessarily need Dad to interfere with that relationship at that point in time, because then Dad was acting this sort of way simply because I didn't tell him about the whole thing with meeting with Ricky ahead of time, and then it just goes off the deep end and all this sort of stuff there. Yeah, and the fact was, just because I'm on the spectrum doesn't mean I'm totally asexual or something. Yeah, and it was just something that was like it was on something that happened like about a year ago, where my mom was telling me about some woman that built this sort of app for people that were disabled to want to date people that are non-disabled and all of that, and then I think she kind of already kind of understood certain things with me, and especially like the show Neurotypical was something, and all this other stuff. But I think if they gotten the message earlier, then none of this sort of conflicts like that would have ever happened in the first place. You know, but still, that was just something there. So, anyways, I guess that's probably it. So, talk to you guys later.